Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and this time we've got the pleasure of watching Kirbymar play in his STA 1. This is the Tier 8 Japanese medium tank, and it is a fantastic all-rounder. It's a lot like the Pershing, the American Tier 8 medium tank. Although this vehicle sacrifices a lot of the armor that the Pershing has, and also gains this absolutely horrendous weak point on top of the tank. This is one of the easiest ways to damage the STA-1 if it's hull down against you. To gain a little bit of mobility, it certainly is faster than the Pershing, at least with regards to its performance off-terrain, with slightly better ground resistances than the Pershing, and a tiny little bit better horsepower to ton ratio. But the main thing that this tank gains over the Pershing is gun performance. The 90mm on this tank is rather nice indeed. You keep that 10 degrees of gun depression that the Pershing has, but you gain a good increase to the rate of fire. The DPM goes from 1,756 on the Pershing up to 1,920 on the STA-1. Now, Kirbymar is in a lovely matchup for this tank. Only a third of the enemy team are Tier 8, making him the top tier tank. And he has a lot of Tier 7s and Tier 6s to prey on. But at Carnarvon, gosh, that Tier 8 British heavy tank is not something that you want to mess with. And when you've got no armor in the STA-1, the AMX 1375, that Tier 7 French autoloader, is a very dangerous machine. And thank goodness that he got set on fire and killed by the M4A3 E8 on his team, otherwise he would have lost a lot more health to that 1375. After taking a shot from the Carnarvon, oh gosh, Kirbymar is now down to just over 550 hit points. He's lost about 60% of his life this game, but he's dished out a good amount of punishment. And I guess he made the sacrifice of his hit points to take a very valuable location. When you're playing on live oaks, taking this location, especially against a team with lots of artillery, is very good indeed, because it allows you to extend your view range into this area of the map and hopefully get your artillery pieces firing upon them, while you might be able to have some vehicles hiding around here, engaging your opponents. An AT-15 has also pushed very far forwards, takes out a Type 64. That is some very aggressive play there by a Tier 8 British tank destroyer. So I was talking about the gun performance on the STA-1. Now that we've got a break in the combat, let's highlight some of the great things about this gun. Oh gosh, he takes another hit there, probably from the 20-pounder the AT-15 is using. So this 90mm has much better penetration than the Pershing. It's got 218, I believe. Yes, 218mm of penetration, whereas the Pershing has only got 180. Kirbymar finds the T-34-85 and puts a good shot into him, now only requiring one more hit to take out that Tier 6 Soviet medium tank. And he has to do something quick. Oh gosh, he rolled really low, only rolling for 207 out of 240, leaving that Tier 6 medium tank on 2 hit points. Luckily, he didn't take any damage from it in return, and the AT-15 has made a terrible mistake now. Now he has an STA-1 firing 8 rounds a minute with its 90mm into the back of his tank. Unfortunately, Kirbymar cannot save the Tier 6 American medium tank on his team, but he can take out the entirety of a Tier 8 British tank destroyer in reply. 1,165 damage done to this AT-15 so far. 1,434 damage done, and finishing him off. 1,450. What a lovely, tasty snack that is. Very well played by Kirbymar there. To forget about the focus on the T-34-85 and to focus on what was important, taking out the entirety of a Tier 8 tank with some excellent mobility. And I'm sure that the M4A3 E8 on his team can't feel too bad about that, considering he traded his life, or what was left of it, for all of that Tier 8 tank destroyer. So now Kirbymar has to deal with 2 Tier 8 Soviet heavy tanks that are pushing into his base. His team is not doing very well at the moment. They are down by 5 vehicles It is Kirbymar, a Comet, and 2 artillery taking on 2 Soviet Tier 8 heavy tanks, 1 Soviet Tier 7 heavy tank, 3 artillery, and then gosh, it really is Soviet heavy tank day here. 2 KV-2s in a platoon together, and a Soviet Tier 6 medium. Although we know that T-34-85 is very low indeed. And luckily for Kirby, this IS is as well. The artillery misses their shot. Kirby doesn't, with a bit of auto-aim there, but is reduced to 37 hit points. So it is now a fatally wounded STA-1 with 37 hit points left against a huge, oh my gosh, 8 enemy tanks. How is he going to be able to do this? When I first watched this replay, I was just thinking, no way, come on, come on. There are certain things that aren't done at high tiers. Just take it away, Kirbymar. No more spoilers. I'm not going to tell you if this is going to be a heartbreak or not. I'll leave that for you to figure out at the end of the game. So Kirby puts a good shot into the KV-4 there. The 218mm of AP penetration doing him proud against the KV-4. This tank does, however, get heat rounds that do have 275mm of penetration. That can be very useful indeed for punching through very thick armor. But in a matchup like this, kind of unnecessary. Now I really like what Kirby's doing here. He is staying behind the bush, and so that means that he is not revealing his position to the IS-3. Even though the IS-3 is 280 meters away from him, he cannot see him. Lovely work here, using these bushes to maximum effect. When he goes close to the bush, it becomes transparent and he can see through it. Now he's going to... Oh, he doesn't pull back behind the bush because he decides that he's going to confirm the kill. But some lovely bush work there by Kirbymar to take out a Tier 8 tank. Just after his artillery dies, meaning that for a split second at least, he was 1 versus 8. He finds that T-34-85, takes him out with a lovely snapshot there. 1 versus 6. Oh gosh, that KV-2 is also very weak. Things are starting to look up for Kirby. Oh my word, all of the artillery shells splashing around his tank. Can he deal with this KV-2? He removes the auto-aim. He needs to fire a precise shot, and he does indeed. And I don't think he even gets spotted there. The KV-2 falling back behind the bush before he fires. Now Kirby has changed it into a 1 versus 5 with 3 quick takedowns. Again using the bushes, he spots the KV-2, finds the top of his turret. Will it hit? Yes, it will! I believe this tank has got 0.36 accuracy. So at these kind of ranges, you can feel fairly sure that you're able to pinpoint those locations. Now he's just avoiding the artillery the best he can, going forwards, backwards. We hear all of the artillery shells landing all around him. And these artilleries are not slackers. Gosh, they've already got 5 kills between them. How can they not find the final 37 hit points of Kirby's STA-1? So Kirby knows where the KV-4 is, or it's quite likely that it's only the KV-4 in that cap circle. We can tell there's only 1 opponent in there. And the last person to be spotted anywhere near it was the KV-4. Kirby manages to spot him, but luckily, the sneaky Japanese tank and its excellent camo rating means that the KV-4 does not see him. And so that means that he can stay behind the bush and put some pressure on the KV-4. Now watch this. When the front bush becomes transparent, he can see through it, spotting the KV-4. Now he pulls back behind the bush, and that means that the KV-4 is unable to see through the bushes when the STA-1 fires. So that means he can take out that KV-4 without even being spotted. Now a wise artillery could have been able to figure out what Kirby was doing there, but then again there are so many bushes around that I guess it's a bit too much to expect that the artillery would think about splashing that bush. So Kirby has turned a 1 versus 8 now into a 1 versus 3 with some textbook bushwork there. And generally, most of the monster games that I see do have an element of bushwork in. Looks like he fires a high explosive round at the GW Panther there, only doing 129 damage, but thankfully he rolls high with the AP round, doing 231. Oh, narrowly avoiding the 2 artillery shells. I'm not sure if it was the right choice to load an HE shell there, Kirby. Even if you had penetrated it, you would have only done 320. And that means that even with a high roll on the 320, that's still quite a low chance of taking out the GW Panther, or the M12, or the Crusader SP. If they had been tier 6 artillery, then I think that you might have been able to take them out with the high explosive shell. And you probably would have been better to go with 2 AP shells there. If luck hadn't been on your side, you might have had to put another round into the GW Panther, forcing you to stay still for too long, and risking the Crusader SP or the M12 finishing you off. So step right up artillery and take a swing. Kirbymar has already picked up 8 kills. He doesn't get spotted. He misses his first. Fires one blind. We don't know if that one hit. He takes a little peek out. Spots the M12. He did hit the shell blind. And he finishes him off. The M12 failing to spot him until he fired, losing his camera rating. Taking down his 9th kill and securing 5,600 damage that he has seen this game. What a result. That M12 was a dangerous player on the enemy team. Well done, Kirby, for securing those hits. Now he has to deal with a Crusader SP, a tier 7 British artillery piece that is very proficient at running away while firing. And that's because the Crusader SP goes faster backwards than it does forwards. It's hard to believe. You've got to see it to believe it. Where is he going to be? Kirby believes that he's going to be in the southwest. He has not been spotted yet. Nobody has ventured this far onto the enemy's side of the map. Oh my word, he gets spotted. The Crusader SP takes a swipe at him. Kirby fires one in with the auto-aim. Oh, he misses the next one. The Crusader SP pulls back. He's going up. He pulls back. Oh, please don't do it. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. Yes, go on, Kirby, do it. No, God, no. Oh, my word. Nearly taking each other out at the end of the game. That artillery shell whizzing right over his head and taking out the railings behind him. So what a tense round here for Kirbymar. Had me on the edge of my seat, and I have no idea how an STA 1 on 37 hit points, I believe. Yeah, 37 hit points was capable of going 1 versus 8 for that long with that many artillery raining down upon him. Kirbymar, you are one lucky tanker. But we can certainly be sure that Kirbymar didn't leave it all to luck. He gave himself the highest chance to win this game with some excellent use of spotting mechanics, getting a feel for where he thinks the enemy will be coming from next, combined with some excellent marksmanship, allowed Kirbymar to take down a serious result here. Kirbymar, congratulations to you. Very well played handling this situation at the end of the game. Thank you so much for sending me this replay, and let's just take a very quick look at the post-game stats. So Kirbymar picked up Pascucci's medal for killing at least 3 enemy artillery, the Pools medal for his 10th kill in that game, the high caliber, and the one that everybody wants, the Kolobanos medal for standing alone against at least 5 opponents. This was 1,892 base experience points. That's the most I've ever seen in an STA 1 for his 6,200 damage, and only 3 defense points short of a defender medal. As we can see here, the STA 1's armor is not very good indeed. He was able to bounce 360 points worth of damage. I'm pretty sure if he'd been driving the Pershing, that would have been a hell of a lot more. But it's quite unlikely if he was driving the Pershing that he would have been able to penetrate 32 out of 37 shells, considering the amount of times that he was shooting at tier 8 heavy tanks. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this replay. If you did, please consider giving this video a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And if this video has sparked your interest in the tier 8 Japanese medium tank, then click up here and you can go through to more Ace Tanker gameplay and a full tank review of the STA 1. And let me know in the comments down below what you think of the STA 1 compared to the other tier 8 medium tanks. Personally, for me, I don't really enjoy many of the tier 8 medium tanks, so I'd have to say that the one that I enjoy the most is probably either the AMX CDC or possibly the T69. But let me know what you guys think. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.